The Kansas City T-Bones proudly present T-Bones Baseball on the Air. Members of the American Association of Independent Professional Baseball Clubs and home of fun well done. The T-Bones Broadcast Network is brought to you by Community America Credit Union, Austin's Trailers and Motorsports, Budweiser, Coca-Cola, Price Chopper, Providence Medical Center, the Kansas Lottery, FlyKCI.com, Roma Bakery, Sheet Metal Local Number 2, and Kissick Construction. Now let's head out to the ballpark for the starting lineups and the first pitch with the voice of the T-Bones, Nathan Moore.
Welcome one and all to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. This is Sam King coming to you live from the United States Steel Yard here in Gary, Indiana, as the T-Bones are here to conclude the three-game series against the Railcats. T-Bones have dropped the first two games, losing last night 12-5. They enter today's game 39-52. Gary enters 49-43. Gary is first in the American Association Central Division. Kansas City currently in fourth. T-Bones are 9.5 back of the Railcats and are 1-9 in their last 10, and they're currently riding a 6-game losing streak. Gary, on the other hand, like I said, is 49-43 in first place. They're currently riding a 4-game winning streak and 9-1 in their last 10. The starting lineup for the T-Bones today goes like this: Tyler Massey leading off playing center, Starlin Rodriguez right behind him playing left, Brett Wiley playing second, Jake Blackwood at first, Anthony Gallus the designated hitter, Tyson Gillies in right field, Vladimir Frias at short, Ryan Retz at third, and Tanner Neal getting the start behind the dish. Today's pitcher for Gary is Artson Costa. Costa does not have a decision, as he's been in Gary for 4 games, including 1 start, but he does have an ERA of .415. Stepping into the box for Kansas City is Tyler Massey, who went 1 for 5 in yesterday's 12-5 loss. Massey fouls the first pitch back, and we're underway here at the United States Steel Yard. No balls and a strike. Costa's only start of the season came against Sioux Falls on August 16th, a game that Gary lost 0-6 as Massey fouls that back as well. No balls and 2 strikes. He only went 1 innings and faced 3 batters. Don't know why he got pulled from it, but his last time out was a relief appearance on the 24th at Lincoln, a game that Gary won 6-5. He went 2 2/3, gave a run, a hit, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Next pitch is low, 1 ball, 2 strikes, and no one out. Kansas City wearing their all grays with the ox blood lettering, black pinstripe, and Gary wearing all white with the green cap and the high socks. Just outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Defensively, Gary is set up like this. At third is E.J. Davari. At short, Jared Medeiros. At second, John Holland. Getting the nod at first is Alex Crosby. So that's inside, but called strike 3 on Tyler Massey for the first out. Massey shaking his head in disbelief as that ball was in his box. Outfield left to right for Gary goes Colin Willis, Tony Checky, and Chase Harris, with Jaime DeVille doing the catching for Costa. Now batting for Kansas City is Starlin Rodriguez. Rodriguez did get a nod yesterday, went 2 for 4 with the runs scored and 3 RBIs. First pitch is a breaking ball, low and inside, 1-0. Rodriguez has been on a tear for the T-Bones. Like I just said, 2 for 4, run and 3 RBIs. He fouls the next pitch off and even the count at 1. In Rodriguez's last 10 games, he's batting .269, 6 runs scored, 2 home runs, and 6 RBIs. Fastball in the inner half, called strike, 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. Rodriguez chops that to Davari at third. Across the diamond, nice dig from Crosby. But he drops it at the last second, and Rodriguez is on. It appeared to be a nice dig at first. Rodriguez running hard as Crosby allows the ball to fall out of his glove at the last second. First base umpire, Kurt Brandon, all over it. Today's umpires crew, like I said, Kurt Brandon at first, Kyle Kilgore at third, and A.J. Choke behind the dish. So with 1 out, Starlin Rodriguez is on. On the E3. Now batting for Kansas City is the Huntington, Indiana native Brett Wiley. First pitch that Wiley sees, he sends to the opposite field, and foul. And the barefoot patio down in the left field corner here at the United States Steel Yard. No balls and a strike to Wiley. Last night, Brett Wiley went 2 for 4 with a run scored. In last night's action, Kansas City gave up 7 runs in the 5th inning when they were leading 3-0. Then they answered right back with 2 of their own to make it 7-5. And then the bottom of the 8th, Gary added insurance runs, putting up 5. Next pitch is outside, and that evens the count at 1 with 1 out. Rodriguez on first in this scoreless game in the top of the 1st. Costa comes set. Brett Wiley waiting for it. Rodriguez with the healthy lead at first. Costa checks on him. He's back diving safely. Elsewhere in the American Association at Shaw Park, they're in the bottom of the 3rd. Sioux City trailing Winnipeg 2-0. At Newman Outdoor Field, Sioux Falls is trailing Fargo 3-6 in the top of the 4th. At Lawrence Dumont Stadium, Wichita is holding a 3-0 lead over the Texas Airhogs. Then the nightcaps at 5:05, St. Paul at Lincoln at Haymarket Park, and Laredo at Joplin at Joe Becker Stadium. Outside to Wiley, 2-1. Costa comes set, Rodriguez getting off first. Costa looks in and fires. The 2-1 is fouled back by Wiley, and that evens the count at 2. Ayrton Costa is currently working towards his 2nd master's degree from University of Antelope Valley, in Lake Elsinore, California. The 2-2. Rodriguez running. Wiley's down swinging. Rodriguez is in there safely. That stolen base is Starlin Rodriguez's 11th of the season. That opens the door now for the RBI machine, Jake Blackwood. Last night, Blackwood went 2 for 5. Costa looks in, DeVille set up outside. First pitch to Blackwood. Blackwood sends it down the left field line. They're going to hold Rodriguez at the last second. Strong throw to home. Brings DeVille off the plate, but Rodriguez is held up anyways. And we runners on the corners with 2 down as Jake Blackwood singles with 2 down. That brings up the team's home run leader, Anthony Gallus. Last night, Anthony Gallus went 0 for 2, but he did score 2 runs when he was walked twice. Gallus is still leading the team in walks with 43. Tyler Massey right on his heels with 42. Runners on the corners, 2 down, game scoreless, top of the 1st. First pitch to Gallus, inside, 1-0. Gallus was hit by a pitch last night, and that one was about as close as it gets right there. DeVille set up outside. Costa looks in, steps, fires, and delivers. Outside, way too far, 2-0. Anthony Gallus is one of those players where if he gets hit by a pitch, that's all hunky-dory, he gets on base. But when he makes contact with his bat, there's some scary things that can happen. So you'd like to see him just stay in there, which I think he wants to. The 2-0 is a breaking ball, low and away, called strike, 2-1. DeVille set up outside. Costa looks in. The 2-1. Gallus pops that sky high. Center field. Checky calling off the outfielders. And he will snag it for the 3rd and final out. Kansas City gets a man on an error and a base hit, but they strand them both. As the T-Bones are still scoreless with the Gary South Shore Railcats. We'll head to the bottom half of the 1st here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Country Inn & Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn & Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. T-Bones and Railcats currently scoreless. T-Bones picked up a hit and got a man on an error last half inning, but they stranded him at the corners. Today's starting lineup for the Gary SouthShore Railcats: Chase Harris playing right, leading off, followed by Colin Wilson left field, Tony Checky in center, Frank Martinez, a designated hitter, Alex Crosby playing first, Jaime DeVille at catcher, E.J. Davari at third, John Holland at second, and Jared Medeiros at short. T-Bones defense is set up like this. At third, Ryan Retz. At short, Vladimir Frias. Second base, Brett Wiley. First base, Jake Blackwood. Outfield left to right goes Rodriguez, Massey, and Gillies. Pardon me, that is Gillies, Massey, and Rodriguez, with Tanner Neal doing the catching for Jared Messer. First pitch is outside, 1-0 to Harris. Breaking ball in the inner half, called strike, evens the count at 1. So far this season, Jared Messer in his this appearance, 4-3 on the year with a 4.42 ERA. He has 22 appearances, 13 starts, 1 complete game, and that shutout. 91 2/3 innings pitched, and struck out 53 while walking 35. Inside now to Harris, 2-1. Last night, Harris went 2 for 4, 2 runs scored, and 4 RBIs. Pops the first pitch high in the air. Vladimir Frias calling off Wiley and brings it in right behind the pitcher's mound for the first out. Colin Willis stepping in now for Gary. Willis did not see action in yesterday's game, so he enters this at-bat. Batting .231 in only 26 at-bats. He's been here for 6 games, all starts. 2 runs scored, no home runs, and 3 RBIs. First pitch from Messer is high, 1-0. Next pitch is framed by Neal just outside, 2-0. Last time out for Messer, he took the loss on August 23rd at home against Laredo, a game the T-Bones lost 9-13. He went 6 innings, gave up 7 runs, all earned, 9 hits, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts. Next pitch is outside, 3-0. The time before that when he played Laredo at home was August 12th, where he threw a complete game shutout with 10 strikeouts, no walks, and 5 hits. Game the T-Bones won 2-0. Fastball in there. He climbs back into the count, 3-1 with 1 down. Messer comes with the 3-1. High and on the outer corner. Called strike. That draws the count full. On deck for Gary is number 26, Tony Checky. Righty versus lefty. Messer the righty. He steps, fires. Neal set up in the middle. The payoff pitch. Checks the swings. They say he does not go. And Willis is on with the leadoff walk, with the one-out walk, pardon me. And that opens the door for Tony Checky. Last night, Checky came in to replace Chris Goodman. And his one at-bat, he picked up a hit, a run, and an RBI. Tony Checky, a fan favorite here in Gary, as he is an Indiana native hailing from Portage, about 10 miles from the ballpark. Checky fouls the first pitch up and out of play, no balls and a strike. Checky does have a lot of tools. That's the only way that I can put it. He does draw a lot of interest from affiliated teams. Latest rumor is that there's a couple scouts just for him here today. I'm sure they're going to get a show from these T-Bones as well. The 0-1. Fastball right under the letters, called strike, no balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2 is 1 down, the runner on first. Game still scoreless. Messer looks in. Neal set up outside. The 0-2 breaking ball that Checky takes opposite field and foul out of play. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes with an out. Neal set up inside for the 0-2. Checky in on his hands, pops it high in the air. Wiley is called off by Blackwood, and Blackwood snags it on the dirt for the second out. 2 straight infield pop-ups have been the outs. Those have been sandwiched by a walk. And that brings up the ever so dangerous Frank Martinez. Martinez, who was named American Association Player of the Week on the week of August 15th, toes in. Last night, Martinez hit an inside-the-park 3-run home run. That is controversial. Don't get me started. The 2-5, 2 runs, and 4 RBIs for him last night. First pitch strike for Messer in there, no balls and a strike. And I say controversial because Martinez hit it down the left field line behind the Railcats bullpen as they're set up on the warning tracks, and they got trapped behind the tarp. Starlin Rodriguez, who was in left, threw up his hands as he hits that out to Rodriguez in right. Rodriguez almost lets it over his head and jumps and snags it for the 3rd and final out. Gary gets a man on a walk, but they strained him there as we're still scoreless through 1 complete here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Country Inn & Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn & Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Tyson Gillers will lead us off here in the second in this scoreless game. First pitch to Gillies is on the outer half, called strike, no balls and a strike. Gillies did not, well, actually, I take that back. He did see a pinch hit opportunity last game, and he went 0 for 1. The 0-1, Gillies pulls down the right field line and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes. Entering this at-bat, Gillies is currently batting .250 and 136 at-bats with 21 runs scored, 4 home runs, and 13 RBIs. The 0-2. Gillies goes down for it and grounds it softly to Martinez at first. Martinez will underhand it to Costa, who covers the bag for the first out. Stepping in now for Kansas City is the veteran shortstop Vladimir Frias. Last night, Frias went 1 for 3. Pardon me, went 0 for 4. I was looking at the guy underneath him. Entering this at-bat, Frias is batting .246 and 325 at-bats with 49 runs scored, 7 home runs, and 38 RBIs. Frias batting on the left-handed batter's box against the righty. First pitch to Frias is outside, 1-0. 1-0 is a fastball in the outer half, brought in just slightly from the previous pitch, called strike, even count at 1. Frias grounds that past the shortstop, and he's on the 1-out single. Kansas City can get something cooking early. Second base hit of the day for the T-Bones. Kansas City scored first last night when they dropped 3 in the first inning, and then it was a pitcher's duel till the 5th. Then Gary dropped 7. So far this season, Kansas City is 27-15 when scoring first. Game still scoreless, but a man on first with 1 out for Ryan Retz. First pitch to Retz. Low and away, 1-0. Last night, Retz went 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs. That was a 2-run double that he had hit in the 6th. The 1-0. Fastball in there. Counts now even at 1. T-Bones dugout not happy with that call. Appeared that it tailed at the last second. Runner on first, 1 down, 1-1. Costa looks in. DeVille set up outside. Pausing, finally fires. Retz pulls it swiftly down the left third baseline and out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A 1-2, Retz pops high in the air. It appears that it's going to stay in play. DeVille camps under it, right in front of the Rail Cats dugout for the second out. And that brings up the rookie Tanner Neal. If you don't know, this is his first professional at-bat. Signed recently by Kansas City out of Southwest Minnesota State University. His previous 3 years there, each of those 3 years, he was named the team's best defensive player. And I know that's what makes John Mazzarelli happy is when he looks for a catcher, he looks for a defense-first guy. First pitch to Neal is outside, 1-0. Neal did come in late in the game yesterday after Nolan Johnson was pinch hit for. He did a fine job behind the backstop. DeVille set up outside, the 1-0, runner on first, 2 down, scoreless game in the second. Breaking ball in there, count even at 1. Currently 80 degrees here in Gary, Indiana. 5% chance of rain, which is weird because we're in a flash flood warning. The 1-1, Frias running outside, 2-1. Frias in there as the ball was just thrown where the second baseman typically stands. That was an awful throw. I don't know how to put that any other way. It was just, that was bad. I don't like to knock on these guys too hard, but DeVille, he threw, and it was about 30 feet from the second base bag. It was where the second baseman would cover on a normal play. Pitch was outside, 2-1 with 2 down. Miles set up inside with the 2-1, 2-down runner on second in scoring position. The 2-1. Neal fouls it up and out of play into the Sweets, and the count's now even at 2. Tanner Neal, a native of Watertown, South Dakota. His junior year at Southwest Minnesota. Batted 163 with 2 doubles, 1 triple, and 2 home runs. He fouls that back. That evens the count at 2. Season before that, his sophomore year, he batted 214. And in his freshman year, had 5 starts and batted 333 and 21 at-bats. Like I said, may not be the power hitting catcher. John Mazzarelli wants the defense first guys. The 2-2. Neal fouls it off to stay alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes, a quality at bat, and his first professional at bat. Last season, he batted .302 during his senior season at Southwest Minnesota, turning it on late. He also hit 2 home runs and 17 RBIs. 2-2, 2 outs, game scoreless, top of the second. Costa looks into Neal, the 2-2. Neal sends it on a 2-hopper to second. Holland fields it on a wicked hop and fires to first to retire Neal with 3 down. Kansas City picks up a hit, but they strand their man as we're still scoreless through 1.5 here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official
Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast. Our game still scoreless. We head to the bottom of the second. Jared Messer on to face Alex Crosby, who's going to lead off the second for Gary. Last night, Crosby went 2 for 3. No runs, no RBIs. First pitch, Neal set up outside. They get it there just low, 1-0. Jared Messer, a favorite in the Kansas City T-Bones organization. Why not? He's a great guy, been around for a while. And he's got some pretty good stuff as that's low, 2-0. The way that he's going to have to pitch Crosby is that you're going to have to get him on the – you can't let a fastball inside. He's going to turn on that. So you got to keep it away. And Messer's doing a good job with that with the 2-0. That one's away. It's sent up the mound. Off the leg of Messer, chopped to second base. Frias running for it. He'll barehand it, and that's the first hit of the day for Gary. Leadoff single for Alex Crosby. He slapped it back to the mound, and it went off the left leg of Jared Messer. And Messer went sprinting for it as the ball kept rolling away. It found its way to the second base dirt. And Frias charging all the way across the diamond. Can't beat it to Alex Crosby. And that's a tough play in any way. As Jaime DeVille steps in. Kansas City shifting to infield double play depth with Crosby on first, no one out. First pitch to DeVille, Crosby runs, and DeVille fouls it off. No balls and a strike. Starlin Rodriguez deep in right field. Tyler Massey shaded towards left field, and Tyson Gillies shallow in left. The 0-1 gets away from Neal, and the runner advances on what's surely a pass ball. One ball and a strike with no one out. Neal set up outside. The 1-1 since opposite field by DeVille. Above the Gary dugout and out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gillies is close enough to the line where if that's brought in just slightly, he has a play on it. That one's just out of his grasp. Understandably so. Setting up closer to the line now is Gillies with the 1-2, no one out, runner on second. Here comes the 1-2. DeVille goes opposite field and lines it into the camera bay next to Gary's dugout. And out of play, 1-2. As the train, the A train, I believe is that what that is passing by. Dr. Gary's broadcaster, Dan Vaughn, just a brief overview on the city. And the train that goes by, town Chicago, that's inside, way inside, 2-2, to South Bend, Indiana, home Page with Messer. And I never played catcher, but I'm assuming that when you're a rookie catcher and you're trying to get these new signs, it can be easy. Neal and Messer trying to work through it. The 2-2, Messer fires and delivers. Fastball sent to short. Frias fields it. Runner goes to third. He fires to Blackwood for the first out. The ground out puts the runner on third with 1 down. It has been ruled a pass ball that allowed Crosby to advance to second. E.J. Davari stepping in now for Gary with the runner on third, 1 down. Infield playing in, outfield playing straight up and slightly in. With 1 down, first pitch Davari is high, 1-0. If E.J. Davari can get anything to the outfield, that could make things interesting. Because I would test Kansas City's outfield against anybody else in the league. Fielding-wise, throwing-wise, hitting-wise. You put all 3 of the, actually all 4, giving Dalton Wheat the short stick for no reason whatsoever. We have Dalton Wheat, Starlin Rodriguez, Tyler Massey, and Tyson Gillies. You take those 4 guys, put them up against any other 4 outfielders in the league. I like the Kansas City T-Bones odds 9 times out of 10 as Davari sends it out to right field. Rodriguez charging, it drops, and the run will score easily as Davari picks up the RBI single. Now batting for Gary is John Holland. Comes on now at the T-Bones trailing 1-0 with 1 out and the runner on first here in the bottom of the second. Last night, John Holland went 2 for 5 with 2 runs scored. Batting into the 8 hole. Batting into the 8 hole today as well. First pitch to Holland is inside. He shows bunt, pulls it back, called strike, no balls and a strike. The 0-1, Messer fires in. Fastball in the outer half, placed perfectly by Messer. Called strike, no balls and 2. John Holland had himself one heck of a college career, starting at Florida State University. Then he spent 2 years at junior college. Then 1 year at junior college, pardon me. And then 2 years at Mississippi State, playing in 2 College World Series. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Messer checks on the runner at first, as Davari dives back safely. Neal set up high to Holland. Runner goes. Pulls back in time, but Holland fouls it off anyways. Count remains 1-2. There comes the 1-2. High and outside. That evens the count at 2 to Holland. Kansas City's regular catcher, Nolan Johnson, getting the day off in favor of the rookie Tanner Neal. So you got to keep those catcher's legs fresh. The 2-2. Holland goes high, way high, about shoulder level, and fouls it back. 2-2. Do that again. I don't think he makes contact with it, and I think we're talking strike 3. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Runner on first. T-Bones trailing 1-0. Bottom of the second. Messer looks in for the sign. 2-2-2. Sent out to left center. Massey and Gillies ranging over. Tyler Massey, beautiful diving grab. Diving to his right, fully extended, snags it for the second out, and gets some well-deserved props from Tyson Gillies, as that ball was placed perfectly in left center. Massey called him off, and then fully extends to make the second out. That's a big second out as well. 9-hole hitter Jared Medeiros steps in for Gary. Last night, Medeiros went 1 for 3 with a run scored. So far this season, Medeiros is batting .259 in 274 at-bats. Comes on now, the runner on first, 2 down, first pitch, breaking ball in there, no balls and a strike. The 0-1 is a fastball low and away. Good pitch, evening the count at 1. Overcast day game here in Gary. Makes it dark as the lights come on. 2-1 as that's low. And it's not often that you have a 2:10 game start with the lights on. But like I said, the cloud cover just doing enough. As that's high, he checks a swing. They say he goes. That evens the count at 2. You can't even argue that if you're Gary, because the man did a full half, at least a 3/4 of a swing, then tried to bring it back. Kansas City's dugout knew it immediately. I heard a very audible yep as soon as he went and they pointed down. The 2-2. Medeiros goes down swinging for the third and final out. He smacks his bat in disgust, but Gary gets a runner home on 2 hits. They strand 1. Kansas City trails 1-0 through 2 complete here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. This is Sam King coming to you from the U.S. Steel Yard. We jump into action slightly late, a pitch late, and a batter late. As Tyler Massey took the first pitch of his AB and grounded it sharply to Crosby at first, and Crosby stepped on the bag to retire him for the first out. That brings up Starlin Rodriguez. Rodriguez reached on an E3 in the first, picked up a stolen base, was ultimately stranded at third. First pitch, Rodriguez looked like he wanted to lay down a bunt, but thinks better of it and just lets the bat drop. It's in there, no balls and a strike. The 0-1, Rodriguez sends it down the third baseline into the glove of Davari, who charges and fires across the diamond to retire him for the second out. That brings up the Indiana native Brett Wiley, who's 0 for 1 today after striking out swinging in his first AB. Entering this at-bat, Wiley's batting .321 in 324 at-bats with 43 runs scored. His 104 hits are tops on the team with 5 home runs and 42 ribbies. First pitch to Wiley. He sends it opposite field at the blooper in the left field. He's on as a 2-out bloop single. That went oppo field. Now batting for Kansas City is Jake Blackwood. They just announced him as Brett Wiley as they're behind the batter here at Gary as the public address announcer. Feel bad for that guy. So far today, Blackwood is 1 for 1 after singling in the first. He comes on now with the runner on first. 2 down. T-Bones trailing 1-0 in the third. First pitch to Blackwood's a breaking ball laid in there. No balls and a strike. DeVille set up outside. The 0-1 from Costa coming after he freezes, now fires. Breaking ball that tails too far outside. That evens the count at 1. Ayrton Costa from Lake Elsinore, California. Played his college ball at Antelope Valley University, NAIA, in California. As Blackwood fouls that straight back and out of play, 1-2. During his time at Antelope Valley, went 10-3 as a starting pitcher. He also posted a 2.05 ERA and struck out 76 batters, over 110 and 2/3 innings pitched. His final game, he pitched a complete game shutout against number 6 ranked Westmont. He tossed that shutout on only 3 days of rest, and that earned him the honors for NAIA National Pitcher of the Week. He's the first person from Antelope Valley in any sport to pick those up. Blackwood checks his swing. They appeal. He says he doesn't go. Counts even at 2. And Wiley advances to second on the wild pitch. T-Bones have a man in scoring position for the second straight inning. Healthy lead from Wiley at second. The 2-2 from Costa as he looks back into the catcher. Fires home. Outside, draws the count full with 2 down to Jake Blackwood. On deck for Kansas City is number 7, Anthony Gallus. Costa comes set with a payoff pitch, 2 down. T-Bones trailing 1-0 in the third. Here it comes. Blackwood checks the swing. He didn't want to hit it, but it's grounded softly over to its first. And Costa will pick it up and step on the bag to retire him for the third out. Blackwood didn't want to do it, but it happened. As the T-Bones get a man on a hit, but they strain him at second. As the T-Bones trail 1-0 through 2.5 here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Welcome back to the T-Bones broadcast. Network. T-Bones trail 1-0 as we get set to begin the home half of the third. Chase Harris leading things off for Gary. First pitch is inside, 1-0 from Jared Messer. So far today, Harris is 0 for 1 after popping out to shortstop to lead off the first. The 1-0, pardon me, breaking ball that tails over the plate, and the count's even at 1. Appeared that it was a slider from Jared Messer. Messer steps, now fires. The 1-1, fastball right down Broadway. Harris can't make contact. Counts even at 1-2. Not even at 1-2, but counts 1-2. I don't know what I'm doing with these last 3 statements. Have been awful. Next pitch is a breaking ball, low and away. It evens the count at 2. Messer steps with the 2-2. Harris fouls it straight back, and the count remains even at 2. Small Sunday day game crowd, which, well, actually looking around, the right side of the bowl, it's small as Harris goes down swinging for the first out. On the right side of the bowl, it's pretty small crowd. If you look on the left side, though, a very respectable crowd here in Gary for a Sunday day game. The suites appear to be full. The lower bowl right behind me in the center is full, nearly full as well, as Colin Willis steps in for Gary. So for today, Willis walked in the first. That's his only technical at-bat so far in this game. First pitch to Willis is a breaking ball high, 1-0. Messer working quickly, the 1-0. Willis pops that high in the air to center field. Massey, ranging to his right, steps back a few and then squeezes it for the second out. That brings up Anthony Checky. Checky's biggest strength is his speed. Lays down a lot of bunts. He hates the fastball inside or anything high. He's known to spray the ball all over the field. Checky pulls the first pitch on the ground to Wiley at second. Wiley ranges to his left. Softly tosses it to Blackwood at first for the third and final out. Railcats go down 1-2-3 for the first time today here in the third, as the T-Bones still trail the Railcats 1-0 through 3 complete here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. T-Bones trail 1-0. Anthony Gauss takes the first pitch of the fourth inning and sends it out to left field, where it's brought in by Willis for the first out. Good contact from Gauss on the first pitch, and I like to see that coming up aggressive to start the AB. But it just finds the glove of the left fielder, and that's how it goes sometimes as Tyson Gillies steps in. Gillies is 0 for 1 today after he grounded to first in the first. First pitch to Gillies. Fastball in the outer half called strike. No balls and a strike with one down. T-Bones trailing 1-0 in the fourth. The 0-1 to Gillies. He swings and misses on the breaking ball that fools him. No balls and 2 strikes. You can feel the humidity rolling in to Gary as you see the clouds coming in as well. The 0-2, Gillies goes down swinging on 3 pitches for the second out. Stepping into the box now for Kansas City is Vladimir Frias, batting on the left-handed batter's box. With 2 down, he's 1 for 1 today. First pitch to Frias is on the inner half, call strike, no balls and a strike. When Frias is batting out of the left-handed batter's box, he's batting .246 this season, 232 at-bats, 36 runs scored. All 4 of his home runs have come from the left side. Pardon me, he has 7, so 4 of them have come from the left side, as well as 28 RBIs. Switch hitter. Has played in the Red Sox, Giants, and Cubs organization. Next pitch is high and outside. Counts now 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2 with 2 down. It's outside. That evens the count at 2 with 2 down, and the T-Bones trailing 1-0 in the fourth. Costa comes, set, steps, fires, and delivers. DeVille set up inside. Frias checks the swing, but fouls it off to stay alive, and the count remains even at 2. You don't want to knock any guy for fouling a pitch off. That appeared that ball was going to be inside on Frias, but his natural instinct was just to protect himself, and he checks and swings it off. The 2-2 is sent up the middle, but finds the glove of Costa, so I bet he couldn't do that 3 times, and underhands it to the first baseman for the third and final out. Kansas City goes down 1-2-3 as they trail the Railcats 1-0 through 3.5 here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. T-Bones trail the Railcats 1-0 as we head to the home half of the fourth. Frank Martinez will lead things off for Gary. First pitch from Messer is laid in there beautifully on the changeup. No balls and a strike. So far today, Frank Martinez is 0 for 1 after flying out to right field in the first. The 0-1 pitch from Messer. Sidearm delivery that time. It's outside, 1-1. Frank Martinez is a rare talent, and I bet won't see much more time in this league. That's lined out to Massey in center field to retire him for a quick first out. Stepping into the box now is Alex Crosby, who's been the only Railcat to cross the plate today. Only player on the diamond to cross the plate today as the T-Bones trail 1-0. He singled and scored in the second inning. The first pitch to Crosby is a slider that finds inside of the zone way a little too much. 1-0. I said way a little too much. I don't think anybody's ever just conned it and gone against themselves. As that's high, 2-0. Wow. I really need to buy a thesaurus. 2 balls, no strikes, and an out. The T-Bones trailing 1-0 in the bottom of the fourth. Here comes the 2-0 from Messer. Fastball that Crosby fouls off down the third baseline and out of play. Counts now 2-1. Alex Crosby hails from Vacaville, California. He is a rookie on this South Shore team. Fastball in there, counts now 3-1. Messer gets the signing once from Neal, fires home to 3-1 with 1 down. It's a fastball right down Broadway, no swing from Crosby. The count's now full. On deck for Gary is number 6, Jaime DeVille. The payoff pitch. Fastball low and away that walks Crosby with 1 down. First base runner allowed by Messer since the second inning. Jaime DeVille steps in now for Gary. DeVille grounded out to short in the second. He's 0 for 1 today. DeVille, the left-handed batter against the righty Messer. Messer checks on Crosby at first as he's 2 steps off the bag. He's back standing. First pitch to Divide finds the middle of the zone. Curveball, no balls and a strike. 1 down, runner on first. T-Bones trailing 1-0. Kansas City has 3 hits today. Railcats 2. And the Railcats have also committed an error. The 0-1 is sent on a chopper to Frias. Frias to Wiley. 6-4-3. Double play. Got him for the third and final out. Jared Messer allows 1 on a walk, but his defense backs him up with the double play, and that's how we got out of the fourth, with the T-Bones trailing 1-0 through 4 complete here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Welcome back to the T-Bones broadcast. T-Bones trail 1-0 as we get set to begin the 5th. Ryan Retz leading all for Kansas City. First pitch to Retz is laid in there nicely. No balls and a strike on the breaking ball. So far today, Retz is 0 for 1. Popped out to the catcher. And the second. Next pitch he sees, he sends out to deep left field. That is up and out of here. Ryan Retz picks up his first home run with the T-Bones, a solo shot in the 5th to tie the game at 1. And that's the power that we've all heard about, the Pico League's all-star, putting the T-Bones on the board to tie the game at 1. And ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a brand new ball game tied at 1. And that opens the door for another rookie, Tanner Neal. First pitch to Neal. Right down Broadway. He comes up swinging aggressively, fouls it off. No balls and a strike. You like to see that, especially when a guy gets up a home run. You want that very next pitch because that's in his mind. Either he's going to miss badly or he's going to put it right in your wheelhouse. Neal comes up swinging. I liked it, but he fouls off the next pitch and out of play and into the 5th row. No balls and 2 strikes. Still no one out. Game tied at 1. The 0-2. Neal chops it swiftly to the 2-hopper to short. Maderos fires across to retire him for the first out. T-Bones backstop, doing a good job making contact during his first professional start, although he is 0 for 2. One of those, that last one, was a screaming grounder. As Tyler Massey steps in for Kansas City. Massey is 0 for 2 today, a strikeout and a ground out. Comes on now with 1 out in the game, tied at 1, thanks to Ryan Retz's solo shot earlier this inning. First pitch, he tried to pick one up on his own. Fastball low, he tries to pull it, and comes up empty, no balls and a strike. Massey steps in, Costa working quickly, the 0-1. High, evens the count at 1. Getaway day for Kansas City, you gotta love both pitchers working quickly. Jared Metzner and Costa. Ayrton Costa. The 0-1-1. Outside, 2-1. That's fouled back by Massey into the sweets. That evens the count at 2. Two is low and away. That draws the count full. On deck for Kansas City is number 1, Starlin Rodriguez, with the game tied at 1. Costa gets the signing once from DeVille. DeVille set up outside. The full count pitch is outside, and that walks Massey with 1 down. Stepping into the box now for Kansas City is Starlin Rodriguez. Rodriguez is 0 for 2 today, but he reached on error in the first and picked up a stolen base along the way. DeVille will come out and talk to Costa. Ayrton Costa. No, there we go. Finally, geez, can't do that right. It's named after Ayrton Senna da Silva, who is one of the greatest Formula One drivers of all time. Costa's family originates from Brazil. Ayrton Senna was tragically killed in an accident while leading the 1994 San Marino Grand Prix in Bologna, Italy. Died at 34 years old. And what's weird about, not weird, but strange about about Ayrton's name, is that his father named him that. And when his father called his mother to tell him the name, I mean, technically it's spelled Ayrton. As Massey runs, first pitch, Rodriguez fouls down the third baseline, out of play, no balls and a strike. But he wanted it to be Ayroton, just like it is on Ayrton Senna. But when his father called his mother to tell him, his mom misheard him, and so they made it Ayryton. He prefers to be the AY, and that's even how it is on his Twitter and everything else. but legally it's AR. The 0-1, Rodriguez lines to left field where that's snagged by Willis for the second out. And that now brings up Brett Wiley. Wiley so far today in his homecoming in Indiana is 1 for 2. He singled last time we saw him in the third. He comes on now. Tyler Massey on first, 2 down. The T-Bones tied at 1. And the top of the fifth. See the pitching coach, Elaine Keano, come out and talk to Costa as he's going to be facing Brett Wiley, the best hitters in the American Association. I do have a righty up in the pin. What John Mazzarelli loves to do is he likes his 3 guys at the top to be lefties. So far today, Starlin Rodriguez is a righty, but we've seen Tyler Massey, Dalton Wheat, and Brett Wiley. That's been the regular, and those guys are all lefties. And he kind of threw in a righty in there today. Rodriguez does a fine job right-handed pitching, excuse me. It'll be the lefty Wiley against the righty Costa. Man on first, 2 down, tied at uno. Keano returned to the dugout. He's going to put his trust into Costa. Wiley toes in with 2 down. DeVille set up outside. First pitch to Wiley. Costa delivers home. Massey runs. Wiley skies that high in the air to left field. That's going to stay in as Willis camps under and squeezes it for the third and final out. Kansas City does get a run back, though, on a solo home run by Ryan Retz. T-Bones are tied with Gary at 1. They do strand a runner on as we're tied at 1 through 4.5 here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. E.J. Davari leading off the bottom of the fifth. The game tied at 1 here at the United States Steel Yard. This is Sam King on the T-Bones Broadcast Network. No balls and a strike to Davari. The 0-1, Messer delivers. Bounces before it gets there. The count's even at 1. Messer unhappy with the mound. He looks back. Last pitch on the first pitch of Davari, he even jogged off the mound as he couldn't get a right footing. We get set to begin this day in baseball history as we're here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Yes, the game is tied at 1. As that's grounded to Blackwood. Blackwood underhands it to Messer. Messer covers to retire. Davari for the first out. But on this day, August 28th, 2007, top of his right field foul pole, perch at Yankee Stadium, and not so shy squirrel watches the Bronx Bombers beat the Red Sox 5-3. The bushy-tailed good luck charm has become a fan favorite, receiving standing ovations and cheers as he is shown on the scoreboard video screen, scampering up and down on the pole. 1-1 count to Holland. Isn't baseball just such a weird sport? Weird but amazing sport. If you're not, I don't know what's the right word I'm looking for, superstitious, as that's inside all in 2-1, then you might be in the wrong sport. And I might be in the wrong sport because I'm a little not superstitious. I mean, there's certain things that, yes, I am superstitious about. As Holland lines up to right field, he's on with a one-out single. But for the fans to say that a squirrel on top of the right field foul pole is enough of a good luck charm for them, all right, I guess that works. Whatever Yankees fans want to do, it's just always going to be a little weird. If any Yankees fan is listening, I'm sure they just tuned out. Jared Medeiros lines the next one and bloops it into center field. He's on, putting runners on first and second now with one down. Back-to-back singles will do that. See, Chase Harris entering the box now. He's 0 for 2, top of the lineup. On this day last season, team executive Magic Johnson, appearing on the Dodger Stadium video board, introduces Jimmy Kimmel to report big breaking news. The ABC late-night television host, who waves to the fans without saying a word, displays a succession of cue cards informing the Chavez Ravine crowd the 87-year-old Vince Scully will be returning to broadcast Dodgers games in 2016 for his 67th season. His first pitch to Harris is in there, no balls and a strike. Kimmel's cue card message to the crowd was this: Vin will be back for one more year, at least. God bless us, everyone. Vin Scully, obviously the greatest broadcaster of all time. Denny Matthews right on his heels as that's low, 1-1. Vin Scully, like I said, 67th season. I'm currently not even in my first season. I hope to get to the point where I can be the Vince Scully. Obviously, everybody wants to get to that point, as he has all the iconic calls and is just a hero. Harris lays down a bunt, but it goes foul, 1-2. On this day, clear back in 1926, using the same lineup in both games, the Indians sweep a twin bill from Boston at Fenway Park 6-1 and 5-1. The Tribe's right-hander, Emil Dutch Levson, will become the last Major League pitcher to win 2 complete game victories in one day, accomplishes the feat without striking out a batter in every game. Holy smokes. 2 complete games in one day, picks up the win, obviously, in both days. Well, in one day. But he doesn't strike anybody out. That's got to be some great defense. That's lined to Wiley. Wiley, the one hopper, throws it to Frias. Frias eats the ball and records the second out. As Harris advances on the fielder's choice, the runner being out at second. That brings up Colin Willis, who's 0 for 1 today. He walked in the first. On this date in 1945, as John Mazzarelli comes out to talk to Messer. On this date in 1945, a moment in American history takes place in Brooklyn as Branch Rickey meets with Jackie Robinson to share his plans to integrate the major leagues. During the 3-hour meeting, the Dodgers president will shout racial epithets to test the 26-year-old ballplayer's mettle to withstand the abuse, which will come with being the first player to cross the color line this century. That is a true piece of not only baseball history, but American history. Jackie Robinson, number retired throughout all of baseball, as I'm even looking at the 42 that's retired here in center field at United States Steel Yard. Obviously, if you've seen the number 42, you've seen that scene where Branch Rickey is testing him because he has to stay cool, calm, and collected. Runners on the corners for Colin Wilson. First pitch is high, 1-0, 2 down. The game tied at 1 here in the bottom of the 5th. That's outside, 2-0. Neal wanted to come up firing at third, but thinks better of it on the back toss. That's on the outer half, called strike, 2-1. As we jump to this day in T-Bones baseball history. On this date in 2007, T-Bones stand alone at the top with a 6-5 victory. With a 6-5 winner, the Schaumburg Flyers tonight at Alexian Field, and a loss by the Gary South Shore Railcats. The Kansas City T-Bones enter their final series of 2007, a 5-game homestand versus Gary with a 1-game advantage. The loss by the Flyers eliminated them from playoff contention and leaving just Gary and Kansas City alive back in the South Division. Kansas City jumped on them early. Drew Dickerson in the second on an RBI double by Aaron Eggleston, as that walks Willis to load the bases with 2 down. T-Bones ended up defeating Schaumburg 6-5. At the time, Kansas City had posted 12 hits in 2 straight games, 7 of their 12 hits that night, win for extra bases, 5 doubles, a triple, and a home run. That night's victory put Kansas City's record at Alexian Field since 2003 at 17-26. Kansas City took sole advantage of the South Division on this day in 2007. First pitch to Anthony Checky is right down Broadway, called strike, no balls and a strike. Everybody wearing a South Shore Railcats memorabilia, not happy with that call, but it was perfectly in there. The bases loaded, 2 down, game tied at 1. Messer needing to work out of this. The 0-1. Right down Broadway, called strike, no balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. The same exact situation yesterday, bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Gary then converted 7 runs, but with 2 down, Messer working efficiently with bases loaded. Needs to trust his defense behind him. Messer comes set, looks back, fires home. The 0-2. Inside, nearly hits Checky. Counts now 1-2. Kansas City got the run back in the top of the 5th thanks to a solo shot by rookie Ryan Retz. So we're tied at 1. The base is juiced, 2 down. The 1-2. Checky fouls it off just barely. Very late swing to stay alive. Count remains 1-2. And what's weird about this Gary team is they're all young guys. I'm looking up and down this roster, and we're seeing 93, 94, date of birth. The oldest guy on the team was born in 85. That's Frank Martinez. The 1-2, Checky fouls it off down the third baseline to stay alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Frank Martinez, 31 years old. Still a productive ball player in this league. The bases loaded. Anthony Checky has had 3 at-bats and is batting .667 with 4 RBIs. He's batting .320 and 50 at-bats with runners on base with 13 RBIs. When the runners are in scoring position, he leads the team with batting .407 and 27 at-bats with 13 RBIs. Leads the team with bases loaded, average 2. He fouls that off to remain alive to count 2-2. Hope you enjoyed today's segment of Today in Baseball History. We had some big ones, we had some small ones. Either way, I try to make it entertaining. It is vital that Kansas City remains tied. Clouds rolling in. I just checked the forecast. We're at 50% chance of rain. The 2-2, Checky in on his hands, fouls it down the right field line and out of play. Count remains even at 2 yet again. Checky, the fan favorite, playing his hometown. Portage, Indiana is only 10 miles from the ballpark. We get set for the 9th pitch of the at-bat. Messer comes set and Neal set up high. The 2-2. Checking off the end of his bat, grounds a one-hopper to Frias. Frias charging, fires to first, retires him. And Kansas City works out of the jam thanks to a gem from Vladimir Frias as Gary strands the bases loaded on 2 hits. T-Bones Railcats tied at 1 through 5 here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Jared Messer worked out of a bases-loaded jam last half inning to not allow Gary to score, and we're tied at 1 as we get set to begin the 6th. We have a new pitcher into the game for Gary. Carlos Pinellas enters for Ayrton Costa. Costa went 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 run was earned, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. First pitch to Blackwood is low, 1-0. With Costa being brought out of the game, that also takes away the decision from him after Ryan Retz hit a solo home run in the top of the 5th. The game tied. It's on to Pinellas. The 1-0 to Jake Blackwood. Blackwood fouls it straight back and out of play, and the count remains even at 1. So far today, Blackwood is 1 for 2. This season, Carlos Pinellas has 2 appearances, both being starts. This is his first relief appearance. He is 0 for 1 so far with an ERA of 9 even. In his 2 starts, he's pitched 10 innings, 7 strikeouts, no walks. The 1-1, Blackwood gets under and skies it too high, as that's going to stay in the infield. Davari called off by Medeiros. Medeiros squeezes it right at third base for the first out. Now batting for Kansas City is number 7, Anthony Gallus. Gallus is 0 for 2 today, flying out to center field and left field. Fly out to left field was smacked, making solid contact on the first pitch. Let's see what he does first pitch here. Pinellas comes set. Del Valle set up outside. Gallus comes up swinging first pitch, sends it up to left field. That will drop, and he's on to the 1-out single. Kansas City can get something cooking here. Fifth hit of the day for the T-Bones as Tyson Gillies steps into the box. Gillies comes on with Gallus on first and 1 down. Game tied at 1 in the top of the 6th. First pitch to Gillies is outside, 1-0. So far today, Gillies is 0 for 2 with the strikeout. Pinellas comes set. DeVille set up outside. The 1-1. Gillies pulls it into right center. Center field is still retreating. He's at the wall. It's up over his head. It drops. Gillies still at third. Gallus ranging home. Throw to third. Gallus scores. T-Bones take a 2-1 lead. Tyson Gillies, RBI, 1-out triple to put the T-Bones ahead 2-1. Tyson Gillies coming up clutch for the T-Bones. And that is how it is done, with the T-Bones now leading 2-1. Now opening the door for the T-Bones now is Vladimir Frias, as he hopes to keep the floodgates open. Infield playing in if Frias gets it to any of the outfield spots. Gillies, one of the faster players on this team, can beat at home. I don't want to say easily, but without much of a challenge. 1 out, first pitch to Frias is way inside. 1-0, he backs him off. We look elsewhere around the American Association. At Shaw Park, Winnipeg leads Sioux City 2-1 in the top of the 7th. At Newman Outdoor Field, Fargo is dismantling Sioux Falls 12-5. We'll be there tomorrow. At Lawrence Dumont Stadium, Wichita leads 14-0 over Texas, and Frias bloops that into right field to score Gillies and extend the T-Bones lead to 3-1 with an RBI single. 3 straight hits by the T-Bones. How have we gotten to this point? At Lawrence Dumont Stadium, the Wichita Wingnuts leading Texas 14-0 in the bottom of the 8th. At U.S. Steel Yard, we're here. T-Bones leading 3-1. At Haymarket Park, they're set for 5:05. St. Paul at Lincoln. At Joe Becker Stadium, Laredo and Joplin set for 5:05. Frias runs. Throw down from DeVille. It's there, but Frias slides in safely. He's stolen second with 1 out. His second stolen base of the game gives him 16 on the year and sole possession of first place on the team. The T-Bone stepping on the throat of Pinellas and doing some damage. 1-0 to Retz is high, 2-0. Retz, so far today, is 1 for 2. Last time we saw him, he launched a solo home run in the 5th. That tied the game at 1. That's how the T-Bones are now leading 3-1. 2 balls and no strikes with 1 out is low. 3-0 to Reds. On deck for Kansas City's number 14, Tanner Neal. DeVille will come out and talk to Pinellas. There is action up in the pen. Lefty up in Gary's bullpen. Runner on second, 1 down. T-Bones leading 3-1. Fastball in the outer half, called strike. Counts now 3-1. And on deck circle now for Kansas City in place of Tanner Neal is number 44, Nolan Johnson. The 3-1, Retz pops that sky high into shallow right field. That's that danger zone as it's called off by Holland. Holland squeezes it for the second out. Frias cheating off second. They throw down and he retreats quickly. Like I said, Nolan Johnson now batting for Kansas City in place of Tanner Neal. First pitch to Johnson's outside, 1-0. Johnson picked up the start last night and went 0 for 3. Picked up a hit in the first game, going 1 for 3 in that one. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Runner on second. T-Bones leading 3-1 after scoring 2 so far in the top of the 6th. The 1-0, Johnson pulls it and chops it down the third baseline out of play. Counts even at 1. Earlier this inning, Anthony Gallus, 1-out single. He is hit home by an RBI triple from Tyson Gillies. Gillies is brought home by Frias. And Frias is currently on second with 2 down for Nolan Johnson. The 1-1 from Pinellas. Johnson pulls that into shallow center field. Checky still coming in, and he'll squeeze it for the third and final, but not before Kansas City picks up 2 runs on 3 hits, a strand of man, and the T-Bones lead 3-1 as we head to the home half of the 6th here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. The T-Bones lead 3-1 as we hit the bottom of the 6th. Frank Martinez leading off for Gary. Jared Messer still out there for the T-Bones with rejuvenated new life in Go Get 'em J-Mess. First pitch to Martinez is outside, 1-0. So far today, Martinez is 0 for 2 with fly outs to right field and center field. The 1-0, Martinez fouls it back, and the count's now even at 1. Newly entered into the game at catcher is Nolan Johnson, and in right field is Dalton Wheat. Low 1-1. Low, make it 2-1. The 2-1, Martinez sends to right field to get Wheat some new legs. And that drops, and Frank Martinez is on with a leadoff single. Talked to a few guys about the playing surface here at the United States Steel Yard. The ball's slow, the air is thick, and talking to some of the outfielders, that's not good ground. I said it was hard for them to explain it. The only way they could is like the sod was just placed on top of the dirt, so everywhere they run, the grass slips out from underneath them. First pitch to Alex Crosby, just misses somewhere, 1-0. Crosby is 1 for 1 today with a single and a run scored. He was also walked in the 4th. Comes on now with a runner on first and no one out. Josh Tolles is up and getting loose in the T-Bones bullpen. The 1-0, Crosby chops it to second. Wiley flips it to Frias. Frias jumping throw gets Blackwood. Goes to Blackwood and gets Crosby for the second out. As Kansas City's defense is having themselves a day. Vladimir Frias, let's make it three. 3 very clutch plays. Jumping over the sliding base runner on that. Fully extends, throws to get to Blackwood to get Crosby for the second out. That brings up Jaime Del Valle. So for today, Del Valle is 0 for 2 with the ground out, and he also grounded into a double play. 1 ball, no strikes to Del Valle. It's low, 2-0. Infield playing straight up, outfield playing in against Del Valle. He's not known for his bat. Apparently, he's known for his glove and his arm, but I've seen him throw twice today, both going crazy as that's on the inner half. Called strike, 2-1. Messer comes set, 2 balls and a strike, 2 down. T-Bone's leading 3-1 here in the bottom of the 6th. DeValle chops that foul down the first baseline. Counts now even at 2. Messer looks in with the count even at 2. As he is about to step, the umpire calls time. A little irritating. The 2-2. Messer, sidearm delivery. Way inside on DeValle. That draws the count full. On deck for Gary is number 13, E.J. DeVary. The payoff pitch from Messer. Johnson set up outside. Gets it there. Past a diving Retz. That hits the wall as it deflected off his glove. DeValle, aggressive turnaround first, has to return, and all they're going to get out of that is a single with 2 down. Runner on first, 2 down for E.J. DeVary. First pitch to DeVary. Breaking ball high and away. He called strike. No balls and a strike. DeVary not happy, but I think it painted that corner. Messer all ready for the next pitch. DeVary taking his time, stepping back in. Messer comes to set. Johnson set up inside. The 0-1 way inside. Evens in the count at 1. The 1-1 is fouled back by DeVary. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down. Runner on first. Kansas City 7 hits so far. Gary 6, so the T-Bone's leading 3-1. Gary has also committed an error as we're now in the bottom of the 6th. Johnson set up outside. The 1-2. Messer steps, fires, and delivers. Ring him up. Third strike looking. E.J. DeVary back to the dugout for the third out. Gary picks up 2 hits, but they strand 1 on. T-Bones lead 3-1 through 6 complete here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. T-Bones lead the Railcats 3-1 as we get set to begin the 7th. We'll see the top of the lineup. Tyler Massey, Dalton Wheat now, and Brett Wiley all due up for the T-Bones. So far today, Massey is 0 for 2. He walked. Last time we saw him in the 5th. First pitch to Massey is on the outer half, called strike. No balls and a strike. Now pitching for Gary is Lars Ligori, the lefty from Scottsdale, Arizona. So far this season, he's 1-1 with an ERA of .257. 15 games, all relief appearances, 21 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts, and 6 walks. 1 ball and a strike to Massey. Here comes the 1-1. Massey goes opposite field. That'll drop fair. That's into the corner rolling. Massey with the speed, digging for 2. And he'll be in there safely with a leadoff double here in the 7th. As the relay throw came in above the cut, and the pitcher's there to back him up. Leadoff double for Tyler Massey. We'll see Dalton Wheat newly entered into the game for Stalin Rodriguez. That ends Rodriguez's day, 0 for 3, although he did reach on an error in the first and picked up a stolen base. Last night, Dalton Wheat went 1 for 5 with a run scored. Lars Ligori played his college ball at Oral Roberts University in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The 25-year-old lefty is 6'1", 195 pounds. Runner on second, Tyler Massey, no one out. T-Bones leading 3-1 in the 7th. First pitch to Wheat, he shows bunt that's above his head. He pulls it back, 1-0. Last season, Ligori found himself in the Pico Leagues with Roswell, where he went 4-1 with an ERA of .391 and 38 1/3. He picked up 2 saves and struck out 33 while walking 14. Wheat lays down a bunt down the first baseline. Ligori fields it and fires to first for the first out, but Dalton Wheat does his job and advances Massey to third. Now stepping into the box for Kansas City is Brett Wiley. So far today, Wiley is 1 for 3. He's singled in the 3rd. In 2014, Ligori played for Sioux City. During his time in Sioux City, he went 2 and 4, ERA is .636. 9 appearances, 8 starts, came out of 46 and 2/3 innings pitched and struck out 26 while walking 19. First pitch to Wiley is high. 1-0 as the infield playing in. This is the 3rd team that Ligori has played for this season. The 1-0. Wiley, big swing and a miss. Evens the count now at 1. He's played for Roswell of the Pico Leagues and Schaumburg of the Frontier League. So far all season, he's 3 and 5 with a .508 ERA. He started 7 games, 22 appearances. 4 of those starts came in at Roswell, 3 at Schaumburg. And a 62 innings pitched and struck out 40 while walking 23. 1-1. Wiley swings and fouls it back. He's behind now. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner on third. T-Bones leading 3-1 in the 7th. Ligori looks in. The 1-2. Wiley goes opposite field, sends it down the left field line, but tails foul. And the count remains 1-2. Ligori comes set. DeVille set up inside. The 1-2. Wiley sends it in the air to left field. The left fielder's creeping in. That's over his head. That's at the wall. That'll drop. Run will score. Wiley digging for 2. He's in there with an RBI. 1 out. Double. T-Bones extend their lead 4-1. Brett Wiley driving in a run and keeping the bus running. Kansas City scored 2 in the 6th. And so far 1 in the 7th. They scored 1 in the 5th as well, as they have now scored in 3 consecutive innings. Gary has yet to score since the 2nd. As the rain begins to fall here in Gary, they take the cover off of the tarp. It appears they're going to try to play through this. As Jake Blackwood steps in with 1 down, the runner on second. T-Bones leading 4-1. First pitch to Blackwood. Right down Broadway, no swing, no balls and a strike. The fans beginning to empty out and go up onto the concourse. This is still a heck of a ball game. Gori comes set. The 0-1 fires on breaking ball, tails over the heart of the plate. No balls, 2 strikes, and an out. Gori looks in from the side. DeVille set up way outside. I mean, really outside. The 0-2 gets it right there. They try to get Blackwood to fish at something. He doesn't bite. 1-2. T-Bones lead 4-1 here in the top of the 7th. If they call this game, this is an official game if they decide to end it. As Jake Blackwood goes down looking for the second out. Breaking ball in the outer half. Anthony Gallus will now step in for the T-Bones. Gallus so far today is 1 for 3 with a run scored. He singled and scored in the 6th. Comes on now with a runner in scoring position. 2 down. Runner at second is Brett Wiley. The T-Bones leading 4-1 in the 7th. Agori looks in. DeVille set up outside. The first pitch to Gallus. Inner half. 1-0. Rain begins continuing to come down here at the United States Steelyard at a pretty regular pace. Gallus fouls that back and evens the count at 1 with 2 down. Gallus pulls that into left field. That's going to still on the ground. Wiley being sent home. Willis comes up throwing. That's at the backstop, way over the guy's head. Gallus rounding second. He's going for 3. Slides in there. Safe! Anthony Gallus in at third with 2 down. That scores Wiley. T-Bones take a 5-1 lead, stepping on the throat of Gary and twisting the foot as the T-Bones extend their lead. Stepping into the box now for Kansas City is Tyson Gillies. 2 runs already home this inning. Gillies is 1 for 3. Last time we saw in the 6th, he scored, but in order to get on base, he knocked in and run and tripled. Gallus's hit was the 10th of the day for the T-Bones. They give him the single, the RBI single, as Gillies chops that foul down the first baseline. No balls and a strike with 2 down. When you're facing a guy like Liguori, his best pitch is a fastball. Gillies grounds that to second. Holland fall to his knees. Gillies tried to run it out, but Holland recovers in time to throw him out at first for the third and final out. But not before T-Bones get 2 runs home on 2 hits. And the T-Bones now lead 5-1 as we head to the home half of the 7th here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. This is Sam King, United States Steel Yard. John Holland is already up, and we've missed 2 pitches, 1 ball and a strike. Now pitching for Kansas City is Josh Tolles. He enters the game for Jared Messer. Next pitch is a breaking ball that doesn't break, and Holland gets hit. He's on with no one out. Josh Tolles, the pride of Adelaide, Australia. 26-year-old attended college at Rockhurst University. During his 1 year at Rockhurst, he went 4-7 with an ERA of 2.60, 13 appearances, 10 starts, 8 complete games, 2 shutouts, and at 69 in the 3rd innings pitch, struck out 71 while walking 24. So far this season, as we get set for the first pitch to Jared Medeiros, he lines that swiftly down the left field line. That's off the wall and fouled just by a couple inches. That's a loud foul ball. No balls and a strike. So far this season, though, Tolles is 5-4 with an ERA of 4.50. In 25 appearances, 2 have been starts. He's logged 54 innings. And with 52 strikeouts and 28 walks. Last season for Kansas City, Tolles went 2-0 with an ERA of 4.55. 29 appearances, 2 being starts. He picked up 55 in the 3rd innings and struck out 49 while walking 26. No balls and a strike, no one out to Jared Medeiros. Runner on first. It's the 0-1. Medeiros fouls it back. No balls and 2 strikes. So far today, Medeiros is 1 for 2. He singled last time we saw him in the 5th, but was part of a double play. The first out of the double play, he didn't ground into the double play. Josh Tolles is best known for being on Team Australia. 5'7", 165. The 0-2. Tolles fires with the fastball. Must have been low. 1-2. Before the game, Tolles picked up a fan favorite. Biggest fan is now here in Gary, Indiana. As they were warming up, he walked into the arcade down the first baseline, as that's low, 2-2. And he found a kid with a glove and said, "Hey, come throw with me." And the kid, who was probably about 10 years old, his name was Bill the third, came and threw for about 10 minutes on the field with Tolles. And Josh gave him the ball, and that's what baseball is all about, as Medeiros goes down swinging for the first out. I talked to his father, who was standing up on the concourse, Bill Jr., and he was telling me that he was so happy and proud of his son. I thought he was about to burst into tears. And that's what really baseball is all about. It's a family atmosphere, and it's all about fun. And the grandfather was there, too. And, of course, he was wearing the White Sox gear, and I had to give him a hard time about that. First pitch to Chase Harris was inside, 1-0. But Josh Tolles picked up a new fan here in Gary, Indiana, and nothing but respect to that family and Tolles. The 1-0, 1 out, runner on first. Harris gets under it. Outfield's playing in. Tyler Massey still retreating it. Squeezes it on the run for the second out as he was retreating straight back. Stepping into the box now for Gary. In place of Colin Willis is Reggie Wilson, pardon me. That ends the day for Colin Willis, who went 0 for 1 with 2 walks. Runner on first, 2 down. T-Bones leading 5-1 in the 7th. First pitch strike in there to Wilson. Last night, Wilson went 1 for 3 with 2 runs scored and an RBI, as he picked up 3 runs scored in the first game of the series. The rain's still coming down. Next pitch misses somewhere. 1-1. Tolles with the 1-1 slider just slices through the zone beautifully. 1-2. Josh Tolles left midway through the year to go represent Team Australia at the Honk Ball Baseball Tournament in Holland? Sounds right. Tolles looks in, fires home. The 1-2 fastball. Wilson grounds to Frias. Frias will just underhand it to Wiley at second, and Wiley snags it for the 3rd out. Gary gets a runner on, but they strand him there. as the T-Bones lead 5-1 through 7 complete here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. T-Bones lead 5-1 as we head to the 8th, with the rain still coming down pretty hard. So far today, Vladimir Frias is 2 for 3. He's got a stolen base and an RBI. Make that 2 stolen bases. First pitch to Frias. He lays down bunt, gets it down the third baseline, but tails foul. No balls and a strike. Frias shows bunt again, but pulls it back in time. That evens the count at 1. Still out there for Gary is Lars Ligori. Last inning, that was the official end of Pinellas' day. He went 1 inning, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, no walks and a strikeout. No strikeouts. Sorry. That's inside, 2-1. Frias fouls that back, and that evens the count now at 2. Frias takes the next pitch low, and that draws the count full. On deck for Kansas City is number 50, Ryan Retz, one of the MVPs of the day for the T-Bones so far. The payoff pitch, Vladimir Frias fouls it down the right field line and out of play, and the count remains full. Getting loose in the T-Bones bullpen is number 25, Mark Haynes. The cover is still off the tarp, and there's a large crowd surrounding it, but no signs that it's going to be put on. A payoff pitch again to Frias. Frias rounds that barely foul down the third baseline. What's funny is that both bullpens have completely emptied out with the rain coming down, and both dugouts. I can't see fully into the dugouts, but the T-Bones dugout doesn't really have anybody in it, as Frias fouls that back and count remains full. What I can only assume is that everybody is standing in the tunnel both tunnels. So they might be afraid of a little bit of rain. Oh, shoot. Rain's never hurt anybody as Frias grounds that to short. Medeiros fields it cleanly and fires across the diamond to retire Frias for the first out. Stepping in now for Kansas City is Ryan Retz. Retz so far today is 1 for 3 with a solo home run in the fifth, his first as a T-bone. First pitch to Retz. He grounds that to a diving Medeiros. Medeiros throws over, but Retz beats it out, and he's on to the one-out infield single. Medeiros diving to his right. Was a nice glove work, but Retz running hard out of the box the whole way. That brings in Nolan Johnson, the runner on first. One down. T-Buns leading 5-1 in the eighth. So far today, Johnson is 0 for 1 when he pinch hit came in for Tanner Neal in the sixth. First pitch to Johnson is high, 1-0. Appears that Gary's going to just kind of let their pitcher Lars Ligori handle it as Johnson bloops that into left field. He's onto the one-out single, putting runners on first and second as they have covered up their bullpen mound. If that's not a sign of bringing it in, I don't know what is. As Tyler Massey steps in for Kansas City. So far today, Tyler Massey is 1 for 3 with a run scored, a walk, and a strikeout. He doubled last time we saw him in the seventh and came around to score. First pitch to Massey is right down Broadway. No swing, no balls and a strike. So it appears the rain has halted for a split second. Well set up outside, the 0-1. Massey takes the breaking ball and lines it to first. Johnson was running, and Crosby will step on first to double him up for the third and final out. Kansas City gets 2 hits, but they strand one on as the T-Bones lead 5-1 through 7.5 here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. T-Bones lead 5-1 as Chris Goodman comes in for Anthony Checky. Last night, Goodman led off and went 0 for 2 with a run scored and an RBI when he walked around home. Mark Haynes on to pitch for the T-Bones. Haynes looking in at Johnson. First pitch from Haynes. Goodman shows bunt, pops it high in the air and over the fence for a foul ball as it hops into the arms of a waiting lady with an umbrella. And she gets a standing go from the crowd. No balls and a strike. No balls and a strike, no one out to Goodman. Second professional game. The 0-1. Outside, called strike. No balls, 2 strikes. What's really irritating is that the radar gun here, for some reason today, is not working. Haynes looks in, gets set, steps, fires. The 0-2. Goodman fouls it up and out of play. Count remains 0-2. Mark Haynes, one of the best pitchers in the American Association. The numbers back that up. I see he currently has an ERA of 3.29. He's 4-2 on the season. His 36 appearances, he's picked up 15 saves, which is top 5 in the league. And the 38 in the third, struck out 46 while walking only 26. The 0-2 to Goodman. Goodman also fouls that off into the concourse. 0-2. And that went off a wall back there and into the arms on the rebound to a waiting police officer. The boys in blue getting the gift from Mark Haynes. The 0-2. Just outside. Good, great pitch from Mark Haynes. 1-2. Mark Haynes, also one of the better people in this league. Just a class act. Former Rice University Owl. 1 ball, 2 strikes, no one out. Haynes steps and fires. Goodman fouls that back. Remains alive, 1-2. Mark Haynes possesses a nasty fastball that can touch 96. We've seen it on numerous times this season. One of his goals coming into the season was to get his fastball back up to 100. I think it's something that can happen. If you watch him pitch, pretty fun as that's blown inside and even to count at 2. He has the delivery where I think this guy could throw 85, but the delivery alone would make it look like that ball is speeding through there. And when it hits 96, that ball looks like it's going 100 as Johnson sets up outside. The 2-2, no one out. Haynes fires. Goodman lines that to Wiley as Haynes battled in there and gets the 4th out. One of the better hitters in the American Association now, Frank Martinez, stepping in. Martinez is 1 for 3 today, but has 69 RBIs on the season. Our top 5 in the league, tied for 3rd. Steps in now with 1 out, and the T-Bones leading 5-1 in the bottom of the 8th. First pitch from Haynes, low, 1-0. There was a point of the season when Mark Haynes picked up 7 straight saves. Impressive, I know. Little 1-0. Fastball just paints the beautiful low and away corner, and the count is even at 1. Last season, Haynes played for Amarillo and Laredo, splitting time with the 2. The 1-1 fastball apparently inside, 2-1. During his 2015 stint, he went 1-1 with a 7.20 ERA. In his 20 appearances, he picked up 20 innings pitched. Came out to 14 strikeouts and 12 walks. He was recovering from injury. Martinez fouls that back, and the count remains even at 2 now with 1 down. Haynes spent 3 full seasons in Laredo, and he's only had 3 games last year in Laredo, and then 17 in Amarillo after he was released. From 2012 to 2014, Haynes picked up 7 saves, and his top strikeout year was in 2012 with Laredo, where he picked up 95. Martinez grounds that softly to first, where Jake Blackwood fields it and steps on the bag for the 2nd out. Stepping in now for Gary is Alex Crosby. So far today, Crosby is 1 for 2 with a run scored. He singled and scored in the second, the lone Railcats run today. Since then, it's been a walk in the fourth, and he grounded in a double play last time we saw him in the sixth. Rain begins to come down again. First pitch from Haynes. Crosby pops it straight up. Rhett's near the Railcats dugout. He'll bring it in right in front for the third and final out. Mark Haynes sends the Railcats down 1-2-3 in the T-Bones lead 5-1 through 8 complete here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. T-Bones lead 5-1 here at United States Steelyard. This is Sam King as Dalton Wheat steps in. No balls and 1 strike to Wheat. He takes that pitch and grounds it to the pitcher. The pitcher snags it and underhands it to Crosby at first for the first out. Now towing in for the T-Bones is Brett Wiley, who's 2 for 4 today. He singled in the third, and last time we saw him in the seventh, he knocked in an RBI double and also scored a run of his own. Comes on now with 1 down in the top of the ninth. T-Bones leading 5-1. First pitch to Wiley. He fouls it straight back. No balls and a strike. Lefty versus lefty. Liguori still out there for the South Shore Railcats. Gary, South Shore Railcats. Sorry, I didn't mean to sound like James Bond when I said that, but that's just kind of how it worked out. The 0-1 breaking ball. That was a very good pitch, just inside, 1-1. Corey comes set. DeVille set up outside. The 1-1 breaking ball. Same pitch, same spot. Called strike this time, 1-2. Not sure how the same pitch, same placement, you can change the call. Well, what have it? 1-2. Here comes the 1-2. Wiley takes the same pitch and pops it high in the air. Holland camping under it at second and squeezes it for the second out. Now stepping into the box for Kansas City is Jake Blackwood, who is 1 for 4 today. He singled clear back in the first. First pitch to Blackwood. Off the end of his bat. That's in shallow right field. That will drop. And he's on to the 2-out single, his second hit of the day. And Reggie Wilson falling victim to what I was talking about earlier with the outfield grass here in Gary, how it's not really set in there. You ever replace a divot on a golf course? Imagine replacing that divot for an entire outfield where you step on it and it goes away. Wilson fell as he overran the ball a little bit, but as soon as he stopped, the grass didn't let him stop and he kept sliding. As Anthony Gallo steps in with 2 down, takes the first pitch and lines it to left center. That'll drop, and the T-Bones playing station to station. Runners on first and second with 2 down. That is Gallos' third hit of the day. All singles. That's his third straight hit. Singled in the 6th, singled in the 7th, now singled in the 9th. And that brings up Tyson Gillies. So far today, Gillies is 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored. That RBI and a run scored came in the 6th, and he tripled to score Gallus. First pitch to Gillies. He swings and misses, wanting to pull it. And comes up empty, no balls and a strike. No action in the T-Bones bullpen as we'll see Mark Haynes again in the top of the ninth, in the bottom of the 9th, pardon me. Gillies gets under it and pops that a mile in the air to straight center where Chase Harris is waiting for it. He'll camp under it, pitch a tent, start a fire, and sing Kumbaya, and then welcome the ball in for the 3rd and final out. T-Bones get 2 hits, but they strand them both as they still lead 5-1. We'll head to the bottom of the 9th as Gary has 3 more outs to score 4 or more. And hopefully that doesn't happen with the T-Bones leading 5-1 here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Mark Haynes still out there for Kansas City. First batter he'll face in the bottom of the 9th is Jaime Del Valle. He's already got him behind, no balls and a strike. Haynes coming quickly with the 0-1. Infield, straight up. Outfield, shaded in. That was low, 1-1. In the last half inning, Haynes send the Railcats down 1-2-3 with 2 flyouts and a ground out. And that's grounded past Wiley at second. He's on to the leadoff single in the 9th. Now batting for Gary is E.J. Davari. So far today, Davari is 1 for 3. Picked up an RBI single in the second, driving in the only Railcats run to this point. So far today, Kansas City has turned 2 double plays. Mark Haynes would love a gift right now with another one, as that one's high and outside. 1-0 to Davari. No one out, runner on first. T-Bone's leading 5-1 here in the bottom of the ninth. Haynes comes set, looks back at the runner, looks home, fires home. That's low, 2-0. Haynes looking down at the mound, as a number of pitchers have complained about the mound here in Gary. He's digging the mud out of his cleats. Steps back on, 2-0, 2 down, runner on first. He looks in. Johnson sets up outside. Fires home, the 2-1, low and away, 3-0. Kansas City scored 1 in the 5th, Ryan Rett solo shot, and then 2 in the 6th and the 7th. And that's how we've got to 5-1. Gary has yet to score since the second inning. And I hope with all my might, that's how it stays. 3 balls, no strikes to Davari. Here comes a 3-0. Fastball in the lower half, called strike, 3-1. Haynes working quickly, comes set again. The runner on first, still no one out. He looks in for the 3-1. Gets the signing once from Johnson, finally comes home. 3-1, swing and a miss. C.J. Davari draws the count full. On deck for Gary, here's number 57, John Holland. Haynes comes set with the payoff pitch. No one out, runner still on first. Infield, a double play depth, outfield still playing in. He comes in, payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. E.J. Davari goes down swinging for the first out. His second strikeout of the game, second consecutive strikeout for Davari. That is Haynes' first strikeout today. He battled back from a 3-0 count to get Davari to go down swinging for out number 1. And that brings up John Holland with 1 down, the runner on first. So far today, Holland is 1 for 2. He's hit by a pitch last time we saw him in the 7th, singled in the 5th, and flew out to center field in the 2nd. Haynes coming instead. Johnson set up inside. First pitch from Haynes. Holland fouls it straight back. No balls and a strike. That's low, even count out 1. Haynes attended high school in Austin in Sugar Land. He was a 2005 graduate, 3-year starter and baseball letterman. He's named sophomore of the year for the Bulldogs. In high school, he had a 3.2 GPA. Yeah, amazing I could find that. The 1-1, Haynes fires home. Low and away, 2-1. Haynes was born in Kansas City, Missouri. His father played baseball and mother played basketball at Emporia State University in Kansas. A kinesiology major in college. The 2-1 with 1 out. Haynes looks in. Checks on the run and fires home. Holland sends that in the air to center field. Massey retreating. And range into his left. Brings it in after running. If I had to guess, that's a good 90 feet. Tyler Massey retreated, then ranged to his left and squeezed for the second out. Dalton Wheat was right there, too, as that ball is hit just high enough for out number 2. Nolan Johnson and Mark Haynes both working on the mound right now to try to get that stuff out of their cleats. Jared Medeiros stepping in now for Gary with 2 down. Medeiros so far today is 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, both swinging. Runner goes. Medeiros fouls it back. No balls and a strike. Mark Haynes 2 strikes away from ending this ball game. So T-Bones look to avoid the sweep in this 3-game series against Gary. They dropped the first game on Thursday and then the next game on Friday. Haynes coming set with the 0-1. Checks on the runner, then looks back in. Runner goes, and Medeiros fouls it off as they want the hit and run in order. No balls and 2 strikes. As a kid with a blue mohawk. Blue, red, he looks like a parrot. Tracks down the foul ball. What is happening to the hairdos in America? Or dressing like a parrot is what gets you attention. It's going to get you attention, but I don't know if that's the attention that I'd want. Either way, he gets a foul ball. He's at a baseball game. He could be a guy I get along with. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on first. T-Bone's leading 5-1 in the bottom of the 9th. Haynes coming set. The 0-2, runner goes. Outside 1 and 2 as they'll give him the base. So I believe that'll go down as defensive indifference. I'll actually give him the stolen base on that. 1-2. Medeiros splinters his bat and sends it sky high down the first baseline into the 6th row and out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Medeiros will have to get a new bat as Haynes put the fastball on his inner half and rack up that bat for Haynes. It'd be interesting to know which pitcher leads the team in broken bats. If I had to make a guess, it would be Mark Haynes. Haynes coming set with the 1-2, 2 down. Runner on second. T-Bone's leading 5-1, bottom of the 9th. Looks back in, fires home. 1-2 is high. Medeiros wanted it, but lays off, and that evens the count at 2. Arcane sitting at 32 pitches through 1 2/3. He looks back, now looks back. Double deuce count, steps off to wipe the sweat from his brow and take a little bit of rosin. Morale high in the T-Bones dugout, knowing that a win is right in their forecast. The rain still in the forecast. And Gary, the 2-2, Medeiros fouls that down the third baseline. Count remains even at 2. Medeiros finally toes back in. Haynes coming set yet again. The 2-2 looking back, looking in. Steps, fires, and delivers. And Medeiros, fouls it back. Count remains 2-2. The 2-2. Maderos grounds it back to the mound where Haynes snags it and fires to Blackwood for the third and final out. T-Bones win 5-1. They avoid the sweep and snap the losing streak at 6 as they defeat the Gary South Shore Railcats, the American Association leaders, 5-1. The T-Bones began the onslaught in the 5th when they tied it at 1. Then the 6th added 2, and 7th added 2. Picking up the win today for Kansas City is Jared Messer. That improves his record to 5-3. Taking the save for the T-Bones is Mark Haynes, his 16th of the season. This win puts the T-Bones record now at 40-52 as they pick up the 40th win of the season. And the Railcats drop to 49-44 as they're looking for the 50th win, but you're not going to do it against the T-Bones. So try again some other time. That ends also the season series. T-Bones will be back tomorrow as we travel to Fargo. We'll take on the Fargo Moorhead Redhawks in 4 games. T-Bones in this season 4-6 against the Railcats, but they almost even the series. It's now 4-3 at home. Last season, the T-Bones went 6-7 against the Railcats and only picked up 1 win at United States Steelyard. They pick up 3 this season. T-Bones again win 5-1. Today's top hitter for Kansas City. Don't know where to start, so I'll just list off a few. Brett Wiley went 2 for 4 with an RBI. Tyler Massey 1 for 4, runs scored. Anthony Gallus 3 for 5 with a run scored and an RBI. Tyson Gillies 1 for 5, run scored, ribby. Vladimir Frias 2 for 4 with the ribby. Ryan Retz 2 for 4 with a solo home run, so 1 run, 1 RBI, and Nolan Johnson 1 for 2. Jared Messer went 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 run. It was earned with 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. Josh Tolson came in relief and pitched 1 shutout inning with a strikeout, no hits. Mark Haynes then entered and pitched 2 innings of 1 hit ball with a strikeout. Gary's starter, Ayrton Costa, went 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. It was earned with a walk and 3 strikeouts. Carlos Pinellas then came in relief and in 1 inning gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, no walks, and no strikeouts. And it didn't stop there when Lars Ligori entered the game and went 3 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs all earned, no walks, and a strikeout. Again, the T-Bones extend their overall record to 40-52 after this 5-1 victory, and Gary falls to 49-44 as the T-Bones climb back up the American Association Central standings. They're now 8.5 back. As we look elsewhere in the American Association, Sioux City and Winnipeg at Shaw Park, they're in extra innings, top of the 11th. At Newman Outdoor Field, where the T-Bones will be for the next 4 games. Fargo defeated Sioux Falls 12-5. At Lawrence Dumont Stadium, Wichita dismantled the Texas Air Hogs 16-0. At Haymarket Park, they're getting ready to begin. St. Paul at Lincoln, same at Joe Becker Stadium. Laredo playing at Joplin. Again, Kansas City will be on the air tomorrow for a 4-game series against the Fargo Moorhead Redhawks. First pitch set for 7:05. We'll have that for you here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network at tbonesbaseball.com. I'm going to get out of here early as it's our getaway day, and we have a 9-hour trip set for Fargo, North Dakota. So this is Sam King signing off, saying a very, very serious thank you for listening, and please stay safe out there.